Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and today on Thrive Loud, we've got a trailblazer, specifically in the male-dominated construction industry. She is a best-selling author, speaker, podcast host, and entrepreneur. Her unapologetic story of life and career resonates with women facing challenges in any field. She's the author of Real Vibes Only and the host of Lip, Service, and Lashes, where she's all about dishing out the real talk on life's curveballs. Life's curveballs. It's hard to say that because she's fierce, bold, real, raw, and a ton of fun. Thrive Loud listeners excited to bring you Chelsea Husum. Chelsea, welcome to Thrive Loud.
Thank you, Lou. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. We are recording this on November 1st. You're listening to this in December, but we just had Halloween. You're going to learn Chelsea loves Halloween. By the way, what did you go as Halloween? Did you dress up, or did your children dress up? What did you do?
Well, my one son was the Grinch, and then the other one was a little army guy. And then my husband and I went to a party. He was some like gecko or chameleon. We don't really know. And then I was an 80s prom dress lady, prom queen.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
Yeah,
going back, bringing it back. I saw some real cool ones. I saw a husband and wife team as a pickleball paddle and a pickleball. That was actually kind of funny.
That is funny.
And a lot of Beetlejuice. Like Beetlejuice was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everybody was Beetlejuicing. So
I
wonder if they
because the movie just came out.
I know, but the movie came out like almost 40 years ago, it feels like, right? It was in the 80s when the first one came out.
Yes, exactly. I think there was something new that came out, though, so then people remember it again. I know.
Beetlejuice, the sequel. Well, anyway, we could talk about Halloween all we want, but what we really want to talk about are real vibes only. Here's what I want to do, Chelsea. I do not want to go all the way back to the womb, but I want to kind of understand how you turned your career into this message that you're dealing with and how you've packaged together this really cool Real Vibes Only message and attitude. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so I won't go back too far, but I'm from a small town in South Dakota. Ended up moving to Colorado to do my internship for my broadcasting degree, and got a job in trade shows, did that for 5-6 years, then really just felt that I wasn't doing really something worthwhile with my life. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. So did some soul searching. I have a Spanish and a broadcast journalism degree. So I decided I wanted to be a Spanish teacher, but was terrified to just walk into a classroom and start teaching because that would just be terrifying and horrible. And so I ended up quitting that job. I got my master's in education and then became a middle school Spanish teacher and then a high school Spanish teacher for about 10 years total. That was all great till the very last year. One day a kid called me an effing waste of space. And I was like, tell me how you really feel. Like I remember sitting in my office or in my classroom and I looked over and the date said September 18th. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the longest year ever. And just knew I had to get out. But at this point, I'm applying for all these jobs. No one called me. It was really discouraging. And so I took the only job that I got offered, which was as an office manager for a small construction company. So that got me into construction, actually. I got thrown in. I did not get trained well at all. Cried a lot. It sucked. There was a lot of really intense stuff for construction and, government reports and all these things. And so, but that got me into construction. And then in March of 2020, I started my construction company because, what else are we doing in March of 2020? Like, but I actually, so I started building my company in 2020, and then I worked that or I built the company and worked that other job until April of 22, where I was like, I physically cannot work 2 full-time jobs anymore. And my company was growing so quickly that finally I was able to step fully into that. So now I live near Denver and own a construction company. Who would have thought?
So from the classroom to construction, by the way, I did not know that about you, that you started off in education. By the way, we're not going to bash any of the teachers or the jobs of teaching to the world.
No,
we all
it's
respect them all.
Amazing. It's amazing. And it's one of the hardest jobs ever.
Taking that experience, I imagine, in dealing with, how old were the children that you were teaching? What grade? High school.
Yeah, mostly high school. Mm-hmm.
So dealing with high school kids and then having to deal with a very competitive, male-dominated construction industry, just off the top of your head, which was more challenging?
I don't know. I like high schoolers. They're just funny and they're little adults. I mean, honestly, you could just sit and just chat with them and kind of give them crap. And like, I just had so much fun with them overall. And it's funny. I go to like Starbucks, I get my nails done. I go get a beer and like, they're all there working. And I'm like, hi guys, what's up? But I don't know. There were definitely challenging parts. And I do think teaching is extremely hard, and they don't get the respect they deserve. They really don't. Like it makes me sad. They work so hard, and it's always like they're the first ones to get thrown under the bus, right? Which I don't believe. So I don't believe is good.
So you're dealing with some real stuff in an entrepreneurial spirit. When you started off with it just being, taking whatever job you can get, and then several years later recognizing you want to start your own company, somewhere along the line you must have liked it. What was it that resonated about the industry or the business that you were dealing with that says, this is something that I can do and I could do on my own?
Yeah, I mean, getting the construction job, I was able to work from home, and that was huge for me because I'd never done that. And a lot of my friends are like, I could never work from home. Like, I love it. I thrive. I work really hard, but I'm also really productive. And so I just enjoy the flexibility of that. But with construction, honestly, I just like the genuine people. You go out to these events, half the time we're not even talking business. It's just, how are your kids? Or one of my electrical companies, one of the higher up guys, he's from a small town in South Dakota, just like right around the corner from where I grew up. So literally we're like we talked for an hour at some other event, not even his event. And we were talking about how in high school we would like run from the cops over barbed wire fences, and like we were like laughing and bonding, and it was hysterical. But I mean, they're just real nice, genuine people, which that I think that's like one of my favorite parts. It's just they've all taken me under their wing, and with me they really support me, and like what you see is what you get, and it's just you just know you're dealing with really great people, and those relationships are amazing.
No bullshit. Which is not only, I guess, the people you like to deal with, but that's kind of like a little bit of your motto. Help to share with the listeners and viewers a little bit, Chelsea, about like, you've got a little bit of sass, charisma, a little bit of directness to you, but it's really straightforward. It's like, you don't want to deal with anything that is, fake or not real or disingenuine. But that has kind of become your calling card. When did you realize that actually was a message that was louder than just who you were inside, but it was something you actually wrote about and even now talk about?
Yeah, I love that, because I'm going to say it's been recent. I've always been like the good girl and the nice girl. And so, I always would feel bad to speak up or say anything, right? Or I don't want to ruffle feathers. And I really don't like conflict. So it's definitely been something recent stepping into. And I truly feel that now, kind of in the last year since I've written my book, that was kind of the part where I realized like I actually have a message to share, and I'm really passionate about certain things, and people need to just hear like hear it, the truth, and not sugarcoated. And because we live in this world, like we all have to be perfect, and we're all striving for this just unattainable ridiculousness, right? And so I'm kind of just over it at this point. For example, yesterday I recorded a podcast episode because I was just irritated, and it brought back memories. I saw a Facebook post from 4 years ago where I had gone to this trunk or treat. Your kids are older, so I don't know if you know. Okay,
No,
you know what those are.
I know about trunk or treat. I'm a fan.
Okay. Well, like now as a mom, like apparently you have to spend like hundreds of dollars, probably a whole work week it's crazy, Lou. Like, and so this was 4 years ago. And I remember how horrible I felt that day because for some reason hadn't had time to like get a bunch of decorations or really anything for the car. But my older son and I were like, we're going to go, but we have costumes. We're good. It's going to be fine. Like we won't look super ridiculous. I pull up. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot the costumes at home. So I literally stood there with just the trunk of my car open with 0 decorations, 0 costume on with candy. And I felt like such an ass. Like I was like, I'm the worst mom ever. I just wanted to cry because I was so embarrassed looking around at all these other moms who went above and beyond and like doing all this stuff. But like, how is that the norm now? It pisses me off. Like, I hear my friends say how stressed out they are, and they're not even enjoying the holiday. They're just stressed out because all this crap they choose to do. But like, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can actually take it back and bring it back a little bit and be like, I'll do the bare minimum and I'm good. I'm still being a good mom, but like, come on.
Well, this is where I was going to go here. I think this is an interesting message. I completely agree with you that there is just way too much bullshit and just trying to keep up with the Joneses in whatever category that might be, whether for a holiday, for what you do for your kids, for what you put on your house or whatever it might be.
Yep.
But this is really about your family, right? You're a mom.
Yes.
You do, and you're a working mom balancing all this out. I guess if you were to fast forward your kids to look up and look back at these moments of when you're here, what's the message as this incredible mompreneur who's balancing all this stuff out? What's the message that now you don't want to give to other moms out there, which I know is the main message you're dealing with, but what's the message that you hope your kids get from the way that you're showing and representing each and every day?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they remember that I'm there as much as I can be and I'm present. But as an entrepreneur, I hope they see I'm building something and that I was hardworking and I'm honest. And like for me, literally we drive around my town or we drive around Denver and I'm like, hey guys, you see the hospital over there? Mommy helped build that. Mommy's company helped build that. The library in town, we just built a beautiful new library. I helped build that. The airport, DIA, like we work there all the time. All these places that people live their lives in, it's really cool that I am helping physically build things that people and families live their lives in. That's really cool. And it's a legacy. It's not my legacy, but it'll stay around so much longer than I will. Right.
Yeah.
And so I just hope that they're proud of me. That's literally all I want.
Message to the moms who are out there. This is what you do. You're actually speaking because here you are, a successful entrepreneur with the real message and a real no nonsense way of having to communicate. How can you help these moms maybe get a little bit more of the perspective, like the joke about the trunks and the trunk or treat and all that? How can you help them? What's some of the messages that Chelsea Husum delivers that really can help other people understand how they can balance all this together?
Yeah, I think it's stop trying to be perfect. Why are we striving to be perfect? And then by doing so, we're stressed out, we're unhappy, we want what everybody else has. Like we're not even present or mindful or being in the moment. Like it's just this week, I've actually enjoyed Halloween and I enjoyed the time. And I did go yesterday and help play bingo with my younger son's classroom, but that was it. I didn't do a bunch of other stuff and whatever. It's like, you have to take control of your life. And like moms with kids, busy people, are you guys all miserable because you put the kids in way too many activities and that's all you do all weekend and you're exhausted and all you do is run them around? And I get that kids should be in things, but at some point, if you're like sitting there and you look around and your life sucks and you're just miserable, why are you doing that? Pull it back. Like, be happy now. Don't say, oh, it's going to slow down someday. It never will. You have to be aware of what you're doing and make it slow down if you're not happy.
There was a fellow dad when my kids were growing up, and we were discussing how over scheduled our kids were, and how many activities, from one sport to one play date, from one sleepover, which are always the worst, by the way, the sleepovers.
Yeah.
We never had any energy for the rest of the weekend. And this one dad said, he goes, whatever happened to just Lego time? Whatever happened to like, you know, like throw them in a room and like give them like 6 million bricks and say, come up and build something, and just, you know, go meditate yourself. And I think it was a great message at the point, because I totally agree with you. Like, there's this unspoken perception that there's a certain thing you should be doing, or there's a certain way, you know, certain activities that everyone needs to be doing because everyone's doing it. It's very like, you know, if your friend would jump off the Brooklyn Bridge with you. I think it's real important to help people understand their priorities. And I want to bring that back to you. When it comes to your priorities and you look at the list of things that you have, you know, you've got a job, you've got your kids, you've got being a mom, you've got your extended family and all of that. How does Chelsea Husum prioritize each day?
Yeah, it's really changed. And my husband and I were talking, we've really kind of become homebodies because he's in construction also, and he's in business development. So he has a lot of like later events, sometimes at night, you know, and by the time we're home, we're exhausted. We have put so much energy out that we just literally try not to schedule anything if possible on the weekends. We might have hockey or, basketball, whatever, but it's not like all weekend. It's a little bit here, a little bit there, right? So it's like having boundaries with your time. I've really, the last probably year, realized what's worth my time, what's not, what is draining me and exhausting me and making me feel like shit, and what's energizing me. So I've chosen to become like this 90-year-old boring grandma, and I love it. It's true, but like I go to bed early. I wake up early. I go to the gym. Like, I try to schedule the least as possible, or I don't just go to meetings that are like, I always get insurance people and bank people trying to be like, hey, I'd love to take you out for coffee and see how we can help you, or, how I can support you. And while that's sweet and kind, I say no now. When I started my company, I said yes to everything. And now I'm like, it's not worth my time. I'm not switching insurance. I'm not switching banks. It's a waste of their time and mine. And I nicely say no, and I just move on. Like, you have to take it back.
I like it. I also like the analogy that you're acting like a 90-year-old grandmother. This is not.
I am. I love it so much. I really am.
I actually do like the down nights, like the do nothing nights, and I could do a whole day of nothing. Thank goodness for football in the fall, because I literally can just turn it off because I need that energy to rebound.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the things that you've been allocating your energy to. You are creating really fun, really energetic content. The book behind you, as everyone can see in the inner studio. And you have a new program called Lip Service and Lashes, as I mentioned in the opening. Creating great content is awesome because you are giving a gift to the world. But yet, there's this kind of happy accident or gift that comes back in return by putting that content out there that goes back to the content creator. Chelsea, in creating this content, have you received a happy accident in writing your book, starting a podcast, and putting this stuff out there? What's come back to you?
All kinds of stuff, honestly. I feel truly more fulfilled now than I ever have in my life. And I would say I'm busier, like I have my hand in more than I've ever been doing, but it's all things that light me up and I'm really passionate about. So it's like, bring it on. I could do this all day long. But I'm just all about connection and community. And I've met such incredible people through this, like you, for example. In the last year, the people that I've met that inspire me, that like fill me up, that just get me so energized, that alone is like, oh my God. You know what I mean? That alone is like, yep, the icing on the top, whatever, the cherry on the top, right? It's just been really fantastic.
I like icing and the cherry. I'm with you.
I do. I love frosting. It is delicious.
All right, let's do the admin part of the show. And we're also going to give a shout out to our very good friend, Amberly Lago, is how you and I are connected. We love Amberly. She's been a guest on the show. We've done you went to Dallas recently and were in her program, which was really cool and fun to see. Let's do the admin part. Share with the listeners all the places people can learn about Chelsea Husum, websites, URLs, podcasts, books, everything. We will put it in the show notes, but it gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
Alrighty. So probably the best spot is my website, chelseahusum.com. You can find out about speaking, my book, the podcast, all that stuff. They have social links. I'm mainly active on Instagram. It's just chelseahusum.com. And then my podcast, Lip Service and Lashes, you can find that Spotify, Apple, all the places you find the best podcasts like this one.
Well played. Well played, Chelsea. She's a promotion queen right now. Okay. I know you were ready for this, but I have to ask it. Are you ready to go down Fun Street here on Thrive Loud?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to start off easy. Ease onto the highway, if you would, or ease onto Fun Street, kind of like the on-ramp. And I'm going to ask you, does Chelsea Husum have an all-time favorite movie?
Well, there's a few, but one that comes to mind, Bridget Jones's Diary. It's so ridiculous and wonderful. And it's all about, again, just being real and how ridiculous she is. And yeah, it just makes me laugh.
I like the fight scene.
Oh, it is. When it's raining men, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, it's the best.
And her gay friend then hollers into the restaurant fight, like the most exciting thing. Like,
fight.
Right.
Yeah. See, it's one of your faves, obviously.
I heard the whole story behind it. I saw a great interview with Renee Zellweger, and like she gained a tremendous amount of weight for the role and all that stuff. Like people didn't even recognize her when she got on set. Yeah. She was pretty awesome at it, and everyone in that movie is good. The whole cast was
it really is good.
I did not see. I know that there were sequels and other stuff. I never saw any of those.
I didn't see them either. You just can't do better than the original. I'm sorry, you just can't.
But they just get paid so much money; it's hard to turn down. Okay. We're going to go down the Speakeasy Pub Crawl. We're going to stop at all the fun places that mean a lot to Chelsea. All these things are your favorite things, so there's really no wrong answers, but I'm going to ask them and just whatever comes to the top of your mind. Here we go. Chelsea, of late, is there a song that you like love to listen to, one that's like kind of like on your hot list, or maybe it's a walk-on song for when you step on stage?
Ooh. I love Unstoppable. I think, is it by Sia? Confident by Demi Lovato. Like I have a whole playlist of all those that, when I'm really feeling them. I also really love, it's really random, but We Built This City. Oh yeah. Classic song. I just love it so much.
Producers are going to have fun with this opening montage. Okay. Favorite food that is not a dessert?
Anything with cheese.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Gosh, so many. I definitely have a sweet tooth. My favorite is vanilla cake with vanilla frosting and sprinkles.
Ooh, I like that.
Very specific.
Since we're at the time we're recording this and having the food coma hangover from Halloween, listening to this in December, so we're getting to Christmas time. But what's your favorite Halloween candy? Like, what's the one that if you get in the little, when the kids come back, you're like scavenging through, like, I get one of these. What's that candy?
Well, I was actually just doing that before I hopped on here because they're at school, so I have free reign of their candy. I stole some Nerds. Oh, nice. Reese's Pumpkins, always great. I mean, Snickers, what else? I pretty much steal them all. The Airheads Taffy.
Oh, you got that like bitter, salty, sweet thing. Those are
like... Sour Patch Kids are some of my favorites of all time. Yeah.
Gotcha. An activity you wish you did more of?
Napped. But I can't nap anymore since I got older. I try so hard and I can't fall asleep in the middle of the day. It's horrible.
Challenge on that. I bet if you really tried, you could.
I really, literally tried. And I'm like, that sucks.
I have trouble because it like resets me. I just crash at the end of the day.
Yeah.
An activity you wish you did less of?
Worked. I mean, I'm trying to win the lottery,
Well, and we all are, aren't we, right? A new activity, one that you've recently tried, Chelsea, that you like so much you want to tell everybody else to try.
I want to try pottery more. I've done a little bit. My 8-year-old son and I really want to go find in Denver like a throw your own pottery studio, because I think that'd be so cool. And think how calming that would be.
Yeah, I would like that. I always see it when it's always very aesthetic to watch when you're seeing people on the like putting
on the wheel or whatever. Yeah.
It's always impressed. I don't know if I have
That's on my list.
My fine motor skills were never really good with that. I definitely know that I made some ashtrays as a kid that certainly weren't, that good. I can't believe. Oh yeah, ashtrays. That's how well I dated myself. Not a coffee mug, an ashtray. Yeah.
I'm a really horrible artist. Like I always want to be really creative and amazing. I suck really bad. And so I remember in like 6th grade, we did like a little pinch pot of clay and it was really ugly. I just wanted to be so creative, but didn't work out.
Chelsea Husum, if I could snap my fingers and you could be anywhere in the world, where are you?
Italy, eating lots of pasta, drinking an Aperol spritz, and eating pizza and bread.
Wow. She had it specifically lined up.
So good.
Now you've been to Italy, yes?
Yes, once. I turned 40 there, actually.
Oh, wow. So what was your favorite place when you were in Italy? Which city?
I was only in Rome for like, let's say 2.5 days. I went to Positano, which was very cool. But the stairs are like, oh my God, you could be the most fit person in the world and you feel like you weigh 1,000 pounds. It's pretty rough. Like, I will not lie, but yeah, it was really amazing.
The drive down from Naples down to Positano.
Yeah.
Was scarier than driving down Pacific Highway 1, which I've done on a bicycle. I've raced down that road. But nothing compares to how scary that is. You are so high up and it is on the edge of the cliffs on these Italian roads, and the stereotype of Italian drivers is 100% accurate. They're all crazy. And I remembered like literally being afraid every time we got to a turn because it was amazing. But the views are worth the trip, as I would say. When we finally got there. Yeah.
We rented a little moped, and yes, we were like, when we turned it back and we're like, thank God we didn't die. Thank God, because this was terrifying.
No BS, real vibes only. Chelsea Husum. Everybody check out her book. Go listen to Lip Service and Lashes. Find her on her stages and her message and whatever she's doing. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. People need more inspiration from people like you. And it was truly an honor to have you on Thrive Loud today.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate it.
You got it. To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone. We built this city on rock and roll.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.